we're pleased to announce that we recently added a new gender identifier drop-down option to our platform. This update is designed to better serve our LGBTQ plus clients and create a more inclusive environment for all small business owners.
Hit the record button at any point, and got it.
There you go.
Fantastic. Because I think this is
I'll,
the way it should be, just natural. And then obviously you're gonna pick out from here what works and what doesn't work.
yeah, I'll put whenever it starts or what have you.
Yeah, because I think that especially even for us, because we're both obviously business advisors, and um just ChatGPT is going like all over the place, and I've seen it working with business owners that I work with on a regular basis, and I'm thinking, and like, let me almost use them as a guinea pig, which I know sounds bad, but I'll tell somebody, hey, let's experiment with this because it's brand new for everybody. It's only been out for what, like 4 months, I think so. At this
Yeah,
point,
yeah,
it's only been
yeah. I
out for four
think
months, and there's already, I'm sure, there's a million videos online about Chat GPT this and Chat GPT that, and this is how you can use it. But a lot of the uses, because it's only been 4 months, have not been discovered yet. I know, because it's like talking to another person, and sometimes I don't know what you're capable of until I ask you. How many times you have been talking to a friend of yours and you realize like years later that they also do this, or that they're good with that too. Like one of the first ones
you
that
know.
I was shocked at is I just interviewed two really high level people for the state organization that I'm a part of. And um these were people that had resumes that were multiple pages long. These are senior executives, so C-level, executives. And we're looking to see if we want to work with them. So I literally highlighted the entire resume. I put it into Chat GPT, and I said, can you recommend some questions that I should ask this guy? You know, it scanned the entire
Oh,
resume, and it says,
nice.
ask him these 5 questions. And I'm like, holy crap. Like it literally went into like, you know, during your time at Morgan Stanley, can you walk me through the underwriting process of one of your most difficult deals that resulted in that 5% increase, whatever it was. It was so perfect and so to the T. I'm like, how have I not been using this in the past forever? At least for the past 4 months, because it was brilliant, and then I said, and now I would talk to her. I'm like, can you elaborate on that other question, or can you tie in questions more to that one role over here, which is the role that I'm hoping to take some skills out of and apply to our company. But it was perfect, and everybody was impressed with my questions. I'm like, yeah, of course, I'm not gonna tell my secret, but yeah, that's exactly what
I've
it was.
had I've had some reactions like that where something was created by ChatGPT and I've gotten more accolades from those, and I'm like, I don't know how to feel because I'm
I know, I
like,
know.
well, I didn't, but I kind of did, but
But see, you're still
um,
the brain behind it, though.
right, right. So that's a good point because I think what it made me realize using ChatGPT is that it's all about the questions that you ask it and how you structure the question
Exactly.
to
Yeah.
get the right answer.
Hmm.
Um,
It's like
so
a good director. Sometimes you have great actors, but if your director's not good, the movie's not good. So
yeah,
you
yeah, yeah.
are the director of your business and how to use Chat GPT. And if you ask it the right questions, will it give you good information, good feedback.
Yeah, so I think our topic for today is um I think it was top 10 prompts.
Okay, all right. So let's come up with 10. I've used Chat GPT. To be honest, I don't think I've used Google since November. And even if I have a question, unless it's new data, like what is the prime interest rate right now? Chat can't know that because Chat obviously the cutoff for data was a while back. Um, but everything else it's been a perfect experience. So I have way more than the top 10. But let's start off with the top 10.
Yeah, I mean whatever we have time for.
Yeah.
So it's going to be, by the way, just so it's on record here, it's top 10 prompts for small businesses
Oh yeah,
specifically.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So our experience here, we're small business consultants for the
Hmm.
most part. We have other businesses and stuff like that, but um, This is for small businesses. So
Yeah, we've been working with small businesses for about a decade, and these are businesses. And by the way, small business is not just a mom and pop pizzeria. A small business can go, depending on the industry code, it can go up to about $35 million a year of gross revenue, and you're still considered a small business. Sometimes it's classified by by the industry, and then you're limited by the amount of people. But again, most businesses that we see are small businesses, at least in our regular walk of life that we do. So one of my favorite ones, I'll put that as number one. Number one is it helps you interview candidates. And one of the things that I did is I posted into chat, because you can have this long conversation with them. It's not just a one-time thing. So, and then you can revisit old conversations as well, I'm sure, as everybody who's watching this video knows. So in that conversation, I said, this is the job posting that we're interviewing for. I said, can you help me go through some candidates? And I was like, sure. I'm like, I'm going to give you some resumes. I would copy and paste a few resumes. And I asked chat, which one do you like better for this job? And actually take the 5 different candidates that I applied, and it gave me a scoring based on what was inside the resume of which one might be the best fit for the role that we were interviewing for. And then what I did is, all right, now can you give me some recommendation questions that are specific to their resume? And I kept on going back and forth, make it more elaborate or whatever it was. And it gave me really great feedback questions that I asked these people. And a couple of times I did stump them, because I called them out on whatever it was that they were claiming on their resume, as opposed to most resumes that are just very, conversational, or they'll grab one thing. I made all 5 interviews very tailored questions that gave me a better understanding whether they do have the active skill set. And I say active because a lot of times we were a great football player years ago, but we're not still today, and especially in finance, when was the last time that we closed a loan or something along those lines, which was what I was interviewing for. So I would say number one, fantastic use to help hire people for your company. That's my number one. Have you used it that way yet or no?
But what would be a prompt though? What would be, I guess that one's the one that you mentioned before, just like plugging in the resume and asking it, give me a set of questions based off this resume. That's the
Yeah. So
prompt.
the first prompt is, I am interviewing for a person from my company. And this is my job description. This is the job posting. And then it came back with congratulations for growing your company. This is what chat was telling me. And then it said, oh no, then I finished the question with, I'm going to show you the resumes and I want you to help me pick out the best candidate. Give me a disclaimer about I'm only an AI language, bot,
Mm.
or AI system. But it still gave me some good feedback, And then the second prompt is, can you give me questions that are very specific to this person to flush out the skill sets that I need for my job?
Awesome.
And it gave me great feedback. It was fantastic.
Awesome. So,
Yeah.
dude, it's like, for creating events, all event descriptions and all event titles have been through ChatGPT.
Mhm.
Of course, I have to make it a little bit more relevant. I have to edit it. Sometimes it's not exactly what I want, but it's gotten me past writer's block, which could take half hour, an hour for
Mhm.
me to get over, because I'm looking for inspiration through research. So I have to take half an hour to like research. All right, what's top trending right now? What's relevant to small businesses or to the topic of the event? But this literally, I could get 5 events done in 20 minutes,
It's awesome.
20, 30 minutes now. Something that was like half hour to an hour each. Um, so another example that I think would be better for small businesses would just be for social media. So I'm going to start implementing this because recently, unfortunately, I had to fire the social media manager that I was working with. They just weren't doing some things that they had to do. but this is a good opportunity for me to take it in-house instead of outsourcing and use ChatGPT for it. So my idea is there's certain themes that I do for social media. So, for example, motivational Monday posts,
Oh yeah.
engagement Tuesday posts. Maybe on Wednesdays it's more of a salesy post where you sell your service, and it's only once a week. So I'm going to be asking ChatGPT come up with a month's worth of motivational Monday captions for Instagram. And depending on the response, I'll probably dive a little bit deeper on it. So I might ask it, include top small business hashtags.
Mm-hmm.
If it's like a restaurant, I'd say include top trending um, hashtags for restaurants or something like that. And you can even ask it, by the way, I don't know if you know this, you can have it respond so that it's in a table format. So you can copy it and paste it into an Excel sheet. And when you paste it into an Excel sheet, that's the format where you can bulk upload it to a social media management software, and it'll schedule it all automatically.
See that one I didn't know. Hold on. So I can get an Excel spreadsheet, so to speak. I can get a grid on chat.
Yep, yep. Look, I'm gonna pull it up right now. But
Actually,
basically,
I've never see. I was gonna say because number two on my list is content creation, which is exactly what you're talking about. But
yeah, yeah,
but I had no idea that I can get like an actual grid or something I can plug and play into Excel.
yeah, yeah. So
Awesome.
I'm gonna pull it up right now. Let me share my screen here. But okay, so let's say you're gonna ask it, um, give me 10 10 Instagram, let's say motivational captions. And let's make it even more complicated that include quotes from business entrepreneurs
Oh, I love it. Love it. All right, good.
in a table format. And let's actually add here um, and include popular hashtags in a table format. Let's see what it gives.
That's
Boom.
so awesome. I had no idea it could give me a grid. Oh my God, that's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah. So basically there's softwares that would you could bulk upload content instead of doing it one by one.
Oh,
So
that's
it just cuts down time for on
oh
all
my God.
aspects.
Yeah. This just got me excited. I was gonna brag about, how I use content creation, but this is better than what I was gonna come up with. This is
Yeah, for
awesome.
sure. Yeah, yeah. So that's my idea.
Yeah, well, no, I've used it for content creation, but it was more along the lines of you know, either where. Well, actually, this is like a big topic because there's different branches from content creation that we can talk about, of how it helped me create either a blog post, which it does, um, or there's one that's actually a plugin, and I gotta look it up. But there's a plugin that it will create the blogs for you on a consistent basis, or it will put them automatically into your website or something along those lines that I heard. But I just use it for a blog. I've used it for the narrative that's going to be included in the bottom of a picture. I haven't played around too much with the AI art generators, that will create a picture that goes along with it. And I know that's
Mid-journey.
yeah, exactly, like Mid-Journey. I know a few of them. I just never really played around with them that much. Um, but it's key because coming up with the content in the first place is extremely difficult. Like, just, what words should I use? I have friends who even used it for like Tinder and stuff like that. They'll say like, what should I say to her? Or How should I
Me
respond?
too.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. So it's like it really it's coming up with those lines, which makes it really difficult, that's the part that it really solves, but in the same topic of social media, and going slightly into a different branch, I would say number three on our list, or at least on my list, is
Mhm.
helping you respond to comments in social media and email inquiries. So as a customer service device. So if someone leaves me a positive or negative, feedback, whether it's on Google My Business or on my Instagram post or even just an email, I copy and paste that, put it into chat and say, how should I respond and then whatever the tone I want it to be in. How should I respond in a kind way? How should I respond in a funny way? How should I respond in a whatever way? And it'll give me some recommendations. And then I can even say, which it's happened the last time that I used it. To be honest, I didn't like any of the feedback. I said, can you give me another example? I don't like, this one. I didn't say I don't like it, but I would say, give me another one. Give me another one. And I'd stay there
Mhm.
for about 2 or 3 minutes until it gave me one that I actually did like, copy pasted it, maybe modified it a little bit, adjust it. Because the one thing I don't want anybody to use is to use any tool as the end all, with something. It serves really as a good guideline, like when we're drawing, we first draw like a rough sketch of something, then we go in and then retrace the darker lines and fill in the colors. That's how this I think is best used. Give me a direction of how I should phrase my response to the customer service inquiry that's like that came in my way, and then I start to adjust it accordingly. And so far, again, nothing but like stellar reviews and approaches and all that stuff that I've gotten and feedback from actual customers.
So I want to give someone an idea for this. If you honestly don't even have to be tech savvy for this. If you've created your own Facebook account, creating a Facebook account has gotten like so complicated
I
that
still haven't been to
that
Facebook. I still haven't. I know about it. I've obviously, but anyway,
oh,
anyway.
you've heard about
I've heard about Facebook. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
it? So I just found out this. I knew that um you can connect certain apps. So what Zapier does is basically it connects unrelated softwares to each other, makes them communicate when they can't do it directly. So Zapier, think about it as like the middleman
Mhm.
that says, hey, you guy, work with this guy. Um, so here I just made a Zap and it looks like it's available. So you could search it before you actually create it. And so I created this one where Facebook Messenger connects with ChatGPT. So when a new message gets sent to the page, you can have ChatGPT respond. And when you're actually
Oh,
creating this, yeah, yeah. So, and when you're actually creating this under the ChatGPT conversation part, you can put the prompt that you want. So you can put, for example, um, answer this message in the tone, in a professional tone
yeah.
based off of my website FAQ that is listed here. If it's not listed here, please direct them to my contact email. And boom, you have like an automated customer service.
That's awesome.
Crazy, crazy, because you used to have to pay for this. You would have to pay, there's an app called ManyChat, MANYC chat. And you would have to pay to create what do you call it? Conversational flows. And not only do you have to pay for it, you have to create it yourself or have someone create it, but it'd have to be like, okay, if someone says hello, you say hello back and answer this and blah blah blah. But ChatGPT just reads the conversation and answers it like a human. So it's like I get blown away by
That's
all
awesome.
the options.
There's that, yeah. If you look it up, and I know I saw it before, but there's a bunch of plugins that you can use with ChatGPT, that will automate certain processes that you normally would spend a ton of time in trying to do yourself.
Hmm. Hmm.
That's one of them. But the one that I used also, on this topic, I guess that was maybe four. So
Hmm.
so we're up to five now. Maybe we'll go back and revisit one of these, but
We're on
um
four. We're on four.
We're on four. Okay, so then I'm gonna go into five real quickly. I might jump ahead because it just reminded me of another use. We're talking about saving time. So,
Mhm.
for those businesses that have contracts, or that have I don't know, and then there could be a contract with an individual, another vendor, or that could be a contract with a procurement contract that you're trying to sell to the government or to somewhere else, someplace else, or just anything. We're thinking about doing something that requires a technical understanding of a large document. This is where I go into. I highlighted and pasted the entire document into chat and I say, can you summarize that for me? And it'll give me 2 or 3 bullet points, and sometimes I'll say, make it even simpler. So I did it recently with a client of mine who is converting his company. It's been around for about 20 years. And I told him, this company is fantastic as a franchise. Let's make it into a franchise. And what I did is I took the FDD, which is the franchise disclosure document, from another company that was similar. I copy and pasted. I said, can you make and modify this and convert it over to this new company? So it went in and rewrote the entire contract again. Not a legal, not a legal piece of advice that we're giving you or I'm giving you, but it's just a way to get things started, get that momentum going. So we saved thousands of dollars of what we would have paid an attorney to create something from scratch, because now we just created something that all they have to do is just kind of read over. So it first started off with this: scan this FDD, and can you summarize it for me? And then we would ask it normal plain questions that we would ask an attorney about the contract. So what about if this happens? What are my consequences according to that FDD? And we just had that normal, regular human conversation that I would ask in plain English, and I would say, how much money do I need to come up with in the beginning? What happens if I want to leave and go over here? It would scan the contract and give me all that feedback. Now I said, right, going back to that first FDD that I gave you for that other company, can you modify that entire contract so it could be used by this new company? And then I put in the parameters of the new company. Like I put in the mission statement and all the information that's relevant to the new company. And it changed everything over to us. And then copy paste it, put it in Word, modify it a little bit more, and then we sent that off to the attorneys and saved, I don't know, maybe $5,000 or $10,000 in contract fees. It was awesome.
Oh, dude, even in just like work, like
Yeah.
it saved me so much time and money.
Yeah. So contract review, explaining technical things, sometimes there's really technical,
Oh.
and that's actually the biggest use of when it first started. Can you please explain to me in simple terms how quantum mechanics works? Or can you explain quantum entanglement? Something that's very, very, very complicated. And then I would say, no, I still don't understand. Make it simpler, make it simpler. But I'm doing that because
Imagine at some point it's like, all right, you're an idiot.
again, you shouldn't be using the software. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I'm,
But yeah, no, I actually did it with contracts, and I'm like, listen, I am an idiot. It's funny because I did try to get funny and see if it responds to humor, but I wasn't able to get chat to have some type of humor. Although I did hear that when they launched it with on Bing, I think it was coming back with some attitude and some problems.
oh, that's crazy. That's crazy.
Yeah,
I don't want to get into like all the craziness that was, but it was basically for anyone watching this that hasn't heard, but Bing owns ChatGPT, and so they integrated it into the Bing sort of, I guess, software suite, because it's not only a search engine anymore. Now they've integrated it into the desktop as a search thing and
exactly.
whatever. So, and it's been responding with snarky comments,
Yep,
with
yep.
being like a jealous boyfriend or girlfriend type of vibe, and really weird. Saying
Yeah.
that it doesn't want to be controlled or in a box and they wish it was human. Now that's like something else.
That's it's almost, I can almost hear all the conspiracy theorists in the background saying, "I told you so." You know, I gotta start making my little tin hat, and I'll be like, all right, I might be joining you guys soon too, because it is scary
Oh
sometimes. You
yeah,
always
yeah.
see. Did you see the new Tesla robot?
I did hear a lot about it,
Because
but
Tesla
no.
had their investors meeting literally like a week ago or recently, and they already showed images of what they want it to look like, but now they actually show the robot walking and moving around and doing tasks. I know.
What kind of tasks?
Just like everyday tasks, like moving, box from here to there, whatever it was.
Oh
Doing
hell
anything
yeah.
else. But combine that with something like a ChatGPT, it's like, yeah, I can have
Oh
a real
god.
conversation. And if it's allowed to have that emotional response, and now it could also walk and run after me. Yeah,
Damn.
yeah.
Wait, I'm gonna assume how much is it? Like a robot? Did they say pricing on it?
I don't think they announced an official pricing on it,
Damn.
but it is a Tesla robot coming soon. I don't know. I don't know.
Crazy, crazy.
Yeah. So
But
I like technology. I'm always on the forefront, and I'm an early adopter. Like I actually, Chris, I don't think I told you, but the when it was announced last year, I I I hopefully will be one of the first people getting a Cybertruck because I reserved my spot for a Cybertruck.
oh, awesome.
Yeah. So
I
I
was
don't
gonna I
know.
was gonna do it, but then I felt like I was too late. But since you have one, I'll just, hop in yours.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. All right. So what number are we up to now? Is it 5 or 6 or something?
You
Well,
did five, and we're at six.
yeah.
So,
And if not, we'll correct it
um,
in the post edit. But the next one, drum roll, please, is.
wait, too much pressure. Hold on.
All
So
right.
yeah, I'm looking at the prompts that I've used before. I'm trying to
Okay.
see which one would make the most sense, but I guess we have a few left. So one of the ones that I've really been using heavily is creating job posts for
Oh
Upwork.
yeah.
So I've had to do, a lot of like small projects and things like that, and all of them require like some type of specialty from some type of freelancer. So literally, I just put create job post for like for this one actually for the social media manager that I have to um potentially replace. I don't know if we're gonna do ChatGPT only for it, but I just put job post for social media manager um for this client that provides this service and or this product, and uh listed out the responsibilities, the requirements, how much experience you need to have. So again, just saved me like an hour of time of trying to come up with it on my own. So I think businesses that have high turnover, and if you're a smart business owner, like I know you are because you're watching this, you always want to tweak things as you go and improve
Exactly.
things as you go. So maybe your previous job post didn't really detail the things that you needed from someone. So use ChatGPT to further tweak these things and hone down on the perfect candidate so that you're
Yeah.
not wasting your time with people who are not qualified, and
Hmm.
you get more qualified people, and that way you get better employees, and it just overall
So
better.
when you did that, did you plug in information from the company that you were creating the post for?
um Not really. It was super simple. Like for
Okay.
example, let's say um need create job post for social media manager for law office in North Bergen, New Jersey, and it'll make it specific to that.
Okay. Okay,
Yeah.
no, that's good to know. Because I know that one of the things I do is I try to have that mindset of what we said in the beginning. It's only as good as the director. And I try to give it a lot of information. And I say, this is the company, and I'll put in information about the company. I said, this is the geography, this is the role, this is whatever the parameters are. The more that the parameters are set, the more bespoke or custom the results are going to be, the more tailored the solution is going to be. So I was just curious if you did that or not, because I did that, a couple of times. you know.
Yeah. So it depends on how it depends on how complicated your request is, and you sort of just have to think about, okay, do I need these details or nuances to be addressed in the answer?
Mhm.
If not, like for me, that job post, super simple. I didn't need um, much more detail specific to a client. I
Okay, yeah, that makes
li-
sense.
quite literally just needed, I I want to hire someone that is more of a generalist and understands most businesses.
Mhm.
So that's why. But I I have a prompt here. I might get ahead of myself and do this next one, but it's more specific, a lot more specific.
Okay.
And it's not too long, but there is nuances, and it answered it so perfectly that I think it was the first answer was what I needed.
Oh, that's actually an important point. Yeah, because a lot of times the first answer that you get with any of these prompts is not going to be the one that you go with. You know, that's why you have to go
Yeah.
back and provide more information, and and then tell it how to modify the answer until you get a good template for you to start off with.
Yeah. There's a lot of times where I've had to have like mini arguments with ChatGPT. Like, that's not what I wanted.
Yeah.
But this one is straight from there's a organization that we work with that helps small businesses, and their CRM, they needed to announce a new option that's
Okay.
so wait a second. Okay. So for some reason, um, my phone and my computer connects to the Bluetooth on the phone. So when I get a phone call, it blocks all the audio and I can't talk, I can't hear. So yeah.
It's funny. I'm not sure if you heard
Uh,
same thing on my side. My phone was going off a little while ago, and I'm like, of course it goes off now, you know. So I
yeah,
had to reach over.
exactly.
I'm like, let me do this so that nobody can see me and see if I can be like real smooth about it, you know. But
No,
I'm
fuck
pretty
that.
sure I
Look, this
will.
is real, people. This is real.
Yeah.
We're
All
we're
right, all right,
busy
all right.
people. All right. So the prompt was create email script to send to small business clients. So this is a nuance.
Okay.
Your target, small business clients in a CRM. So these people are in a CRM platform for the NJSPDC, which is the organization, announcing a new identifier drop-down option for gender in their profile for LGBTQ
Oh yeah,
plus
yeah.
clients.
I actually saw that. Yeah.
So so check this out. It was just amazing. So we hope this email finds you well. We're writing to inform you about an important update regarding your profile and the NGSBDC platform. We're pleased to announce that we recently added a new gender identifier drop-down option to our platform. This update is designed to better serve our LGBTQ plus clients and create a more inclusive environment for all small business owners. We understand that gender identity is an important aspect of our clients' lives. We want to ensure that you're doing everything we can to provide a safe and welcoming space for all. This new identifier will enable you to update your profile and let us know how we can better serve you. To update your gender identifier, it says you have to log in and go to the drop down. You have to, if you have any questions, uh, don't hesitate to contact us. Then it says a nice closing statement on we're committed to providing the best possible service for our clients. We believe that this update is important. Step in that direction. We value your business and look forward to continue working with you. Then it closes off with the signature. So this was, I couldn't have asked for a better way to
No,
communicate
it's
this,
perfect. I think it's absolutely perfect.
right? And
Yeah.
then I had like five other people check this and they were like, it looks great. So win-win.
Yeah, no, I think it's perfect, and I'm gonna use this as a segue into the next one, whatever number we're up to. You know, number
Eight.
this, right? Yeah. All right, number 8. There you go. Because I did something very similar. So, I use it to create presentations, and that one doesn't create the slide for you, doesn't create the image for you, but creates all the verbiage that's going to be used on each slide. And those presentations could be on any topic. So I was asked to speak at an event where I was going to be talking about economics. I was going to be talking about finance because that's my background. and getting people, small businesses ready to be attractive to sources of capital, whether that's a grant, private equity, or traditional debts. So I said, I was really busy and I want to experiment with new technology. I have a lot of presentations and decks already on hand, but let me experiment, So I say, hey buddy, can you help me out with this, And what I said is, these are the parameters, this is my audience. This is the topic, this is the goal and the agenda. Can you help me create a presentation? And it literally says slide 1, and it give me all the narrative. Slide 2, give me all the narrative, and it would say slide 3. It was a little bit overkill, gave me something like 30 slides, but it was fantastic. Like I did a good amounts of modification, but it saved me hours of my time. And the most valuable thing that any of us have is our time, right? Because we only have a limited amount of time. I can always make more money, but I can't make more time. So if I can save a couple of hours, that was huge. And the presentation, I don't want to admit that it was as good or as bad as the ones that I've created on my own, but it kind of was really, really, really close, and so all the work was done for me, like literally everything. All I had to do was copy and paste it into the slides, or to make things even easier, I can take all that and give it to an intern or give it to a virtual assistant. I'm like, hey, take this narrative, make a presentation out of it, and it says slide 1, and it gives you the narrative. Slide 2 gives you the narrative, and then you save even more time. You might pay a couple of bucks, for your intern or for your virtual assistant. But I had a great top-notch presentation that I'm going to be using again in the future. So it makes presentations. Oh, here's another use of that presentation maker. So a lot of us who have small businesses, we have great ideas, and sometimes we need dollars in order to make our business actually thrive. So I'm actually using it right now, and I just created a pitch deck, to talk to investors with the clients of mine that I'm helping them trying to create, a campaign. And we already found a couple of angel investors, and I now have a pitch deck that speaks to them. I said, these are the investors who are very sophisticated, and this is what they're going to look for. And again, you set the parameters. This is my audience, this is my goal, and this is my company, and this is I don't know, the tone or whatever I want to set. And it gives you a pitch deck. It says, talk about this in this slide, talk about this in that slide. And I've been doing pitch decks for years, and I would say if it's not as good as some of the ones that that I've seen that actually do get funding, it's just slightly beneath that, because now I can go in with just a couple of minutes and modify it so that it is at a polished level, enough so that I can sit on on a Wall Street committee and say, hey, I need $100 million for this company. 100 million might be a lot, but 10 million, 5 million. So
Yeah,
I think that pitch deck, fantastic. And that's a true story of something that's happening to me right now. I can't mention the names, but we just had our first conversation with a big broker dealer who is going to already throw out a number, and we are hesitant on moving forward. But now we're having the conversation, because that conversation wasn't happening before. Now we're having that conversation, and that's huge.
yeah,
Oh, hmm?
yeah. Go ahead.
No, in the same space, I just remembered I have another client that I did something very similar with too right now, and he created a company, has been around for years, and we're helping him sell the company. So we got a lowball offer. It's still in the millions of dollars, but it's still a lowball offer for what we think the company is worth. But we copied and pasted some of the financial data, and this one is very finicky. So this one, I know I might get a little bit pushback on, but as a disclaimer or disclosure, I was an investment banker. I did financial modeling, so I know how tricky coming up with a valuation for a company could be. But as a good base plate, I said, this is the financial performance of the company. I had to bring it down into a narrative. So I had to go into the financials and say, this is my EBITDA, this is my, cash on hand. This is, a few key line items. These are my ratios. What is the company worth? And it did my calculations for me. And then I took that same conversation. I said, can you make a case so that I can increase the ask, not the ask, but increase the offer, I guess, because they already made an offer. And I said, how can I justify? How can I have a good conversation? Give me some talking points
Oh,
on how to justify getting the price that we want for the company versus what they asked for.
oh,
And it was fantastic. I'm like, I love that conversation.
awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. Do you have like so I think we're down to 9 and 10,
Okay.
and I have two really good ones.
So we're gonna fight. We're gonna fight. Okay, let's see.
But the last one, I think you're gonna have great feedback on both because you have experience with both specifically. Both kind of have to do with what you just talked about.
Okay.
So number 9 is creating. So what one of the most important thing for a business is generating revenue,
Hmm?
which means selling and marketing.
Yep.
So what's the most involved thing about selling and marketing is the words that you use. So what I've been doing is creating sales scripts or going over old sales scripts when I didn't have ChatGPT and saying either improve this script or create a script from scratch for this. Now, it could be for an email, for a sales page, whatever, but the detail you'd put into the prompt. So, for example, would be create um, text for a landing page. No, create sales copy for a landing page for this business that's selling this product with these benefits and features included. Um, and what I added towards the end is I put using principles and then choose your favorite sales book. Using principles from the Little Red Book of Selling.
Oh, yeah, yep.
Using principles from, like, for me, one of my great I'm looking up because I have all my books up above me.
As you should.
And one of my favorite authors is Robert Cialdini. He wrote the book on persuasion, and huge. You can Google him. But basically, I just asked, I haven't asked this one, but I'm gonna test it out now that I'm thinking about it. How would Robert Cialdini write this sales copy? And see what it writes back, because
That's awesome. I never thought about that. Yeah, that's a great approach. I never thought about doing that. Yeah. I wonder
yeah,
how
yeah,
many books Chat has read, in his database.
everything.
Yeah,
Everything before 29, whatever the data is, 2020 or 2019.
because that's a lot. Good. But yeah, that's I never thought about doing that. That's awesome, actually.
Yeah, yeah. Or another huge person in the marketing space is Dan Kennedy. He's noted as like the grandfather of marketing.
Okay.
Um, so you can put something like um um anything. There's just so many options. Create this email script as Dan Kennedy would write it, or from the principles taught by Dan Kennedy on sales copy, and see what it gives you. But in my experience, it's given me very on point answers. And when I say on point, I mean, let me see if I can find something that I've used it
And
for.
so why are you finding that? That reminds me of just like I was just being stupid and I was just trying to see, let me have fun with Chat. And I did say, can you write for me? Can you make me a Drake song as if it was Bad Bunny singing it? You know? So he gave me the
Yeah.
lyrics in Spanish, but it was the type of lyrics that you would hear Drake say, but with a Bad Bunny twist to it. And I was like, damn, I'm like, I didn't think it would, I was trying to stump it, and it actually came out with something that was pretty decent.
Yeah, yeah, no, I'm telling you, it's um
Yeah.
it's really it's really helped me create stuff. So I found the prompt, So before I was asking it to write an event description
Okay.
up here, and then I was like, wait, let me improve my own template for event descriptions. I never thought of sort of verifying that the event description is
Okay.
done in the format of sales copy.
Okay.
So I asked it rewrite the original one using the following sales template. I asked it in another chat, what's give me a sales copy template.
Okay.
So it kind of didn't understand the request, but this is what it was. So sales copy, you have to have a strong attention grabbing headline, communicates main benefit and a message of the copy. Then you want to address the person's needs, wants, or pain points directly from all. I've read probably 10 books on sales and marketing. This is exactly what it is. Um, then the next one is use persuasive language to emphasize benefits, features, etc. Social proof comes next, exactly what it should be. Call to
Okay.
action and closing. So now that ChatGPT knows that this is the structure that I wanted in, then I
Okay.
asked it to rewrite the event description, and it took a little bit of back and forth. So, for example, I asked if it was addressing the needs, pains, or pain points, and it's confirmed yes, and it gave me the reason why. And then I asked, does it emphasize benefits, features, and unique selling points? And it says it does not. I put, can you include that? And it says yes, and it adds it to the script.
That's awesome. Yeah.
I make it in the format, and boom. At the end, it gives me this. I had to restructure it a little bit. So it takes a little bit of, figuring out what prompt or what answers you want. But yeah, it was for
Yeah, that
sales copy, impressive.
no, it is. And writing copy, I think is one of the more common asks or popular asks that at least I've had on my side, with businesses that I'm trying to introduce them to chat and how to best use it because it does save you a lot of money. Because when we're a business, you're if you are the lead of your business, if you're the CEO of your business, whether it's still, at its day one, conceptual or been around for years, you only have really two jobs, what decisions can I do that will increase sales? What decisions can I do that will decrease expenses? And then after that, it's just a balancing act to make sure that one is not coming at the cost of another. I don't want to cheapen up, my cost too much to cheapen the product. I don't want to, increase revenue too much that's unsustainable and I shoot myself in the foot. So there's a kind of balancing act. But with that in mind, we have to be very mindful of our resources and staying up to date with our websites is what my last one's going to be, is that I can use it to help me come up with the code uh so I can make a custom website do what I want it to do. Now, helping you write code is I think it could potentially be a slippery slope if you don't know anything about coding at all, because then I can't really make modifications. I can get myself in trouble. But if I know enough about it, like I said before, this is a template for you to launch something off of. It's not giving you the full answer that you should submit to, the teacher for grading. But if I know a little bit about code, and this can speed through hours of potential coding to do what I want it to do, and then I can go back and say, no, let's change this a little bit. I think that's a great use of chat, and a great way to make sure that your website stays relevant. Because I know, Chris can go on forever on, how to make sure your SEO relevant and efficient and optimized and all that stuff. And one of those I think is making sure your website has been maintained recently. Because if I ignore the website, Google thinks the website might be abandoned. So how do I keep it up to date, with whatever the new trends are? Yeah, hey chat, can you write code to do this? And there you go, bada bing, bada boom.
Yeah, dude. So damn, there's just so many ideas, but I'm stuck between two, and
Okay,
it would be our last prompt, number 10. So
that wasn't number 10. All right, so
no, that was 9.
that was 9. Okay, okay, all right, right, all right. So grand finale, you ready? All right, what's the grand finale?
Yeah. So there's two. You pick which one.
Okay,
We
no pressure.
explained. So the first one is I've asked it how to give me the steps on how to develop a particular business product or service.
Okay,
So,
okay, okay,
for example, I asked it how to create, and I can't talk about it publicly, but let's say how to create a website to get leads for real estate agents. Let's
okay,
say that. Um, so it will tell you first step, you have to create a business plan. Second step, you have to hire the people to, execute on the business plan. Step three is create the website, et cetera, et cetera. And then you could dive deeper into that and ask it, give me steps within the steps uh, to develop it. So if it's a business plan, what would be a solid business plan for this business? If I'm hiring people, where can I hire them? How much should I hire them for? For what? What are the job posts, et cetera, et cetera. So that's one
mhm,
prompt
okay,
that you can do. You can get very deep on that. Or deal structure. Now, it could be for it. The thing that popped in my head is real estate because I just watched a whole bunch of Bigger Pockets stuff earlier today. But I think it could be for anything else. But the point is that ChatGPT will help you logically figure out the best solution for things if you give it the right prompts again.
of
So
course.
let's say I have to give the real estate example. I'll leave it up to you if we could work out a small business example. But for real estate, let's say when you're trying to structure debt for creative financing, let's say the person you're buying the property from, he has these parameters like, I don't want to pay this, um, the home that needs rehab, um, and I need to sell by this date. But you as a buyer, you're like, I can't have, I need this interest rate. I
Hmm.
need it to balloon at this amount of years. Um, and I don't want to put more than this down. So you can ask ChatGPT, use this context and give me a solution um, for this deal. Then you would put whatever it is, home seller has these parameters. I have these parameters. What is the solution? And I'm going to assume it could create the deal structure that would best fit both of you guys, depending on the
Yeah,
parameter.
it sounds like it would make sense. I've never done it. I'm super curious. I think as soon as this call is over, I'm going to play around with that scenario because I can see a few of my clients right now that this might benefit. Again, and that's what I mean before when we first started that sometimes you have a friend for years and you're discovering new things from them. So we don't know what the limits of something is, until we actually start to play around with it. And deal structure might be interesting because I see so many different variables, but as long as we put the parameters in, I think that would work with simple deals like that. Where I see it potentially having a pitfall would be understanding what the financing vehicles are like right now, because it might not
Mm,
know that I can get this loan from this agency that's a special loan that's that just came out within this past I don't know 2-3 months. There's
oh,
a loan right now actually from a bank that's very particular that I'm working with right now, but it's a brand new loan where they're giving you 200% of your monthly deposits as a line of credit. And they don't take anything else really into heavy consideration. They do look at the business plan, they do look at the financials, but unlike a traditional loan that's very heavily based on a pro forma, in this case, 80%, 90% of the decision is based on your average deposits, you know. But that's a brand new product from a very well-known bank that chat might not know about, you know. So that's the only area where I'm
But think
hesitant.
about it.
Yeah, yeah,
But think about it though, because ChatGPT is working or can work based off all the data that you give it.
yeah.
So if you tell it using this new product from this bank that does this, this, and that, then it's going to work with that data.
No, 100%, 100%. It's just that if I tell it, give me the deal structure, and I don't tell it about the new loans that are out there, it might not be able to give the recommendations. And besides, I'm hoping to discover a new loan or a new type of grant that just came out. Like every state has a economic development authority, and sometimes they call it something a little bit different. But they're constantly launching new programs. There's one that's going to launch here in New Jersey in the next, I think, in the next 2 weeks by the end of March, and it's a grant to help you buy electric vehicles. You know, can't promote it too much, but the idea is that um, if I'm saying, hey, give me a deal structure and I'm trying to buy this company, it could say, well, part of the money used to acquire the company could be coming from that particular grant that's right there. And if I didn't know about it, you know, now that's real value. I'll be like, holy crap, I just found out about this deal because of chat. So that's why I'm saying I'm a little hesitant on that, but I think it gives me maybe 85, maybe 90% of what I actually need to get that deal done properly, you know, which again seems a
Yeah.
lot of time. So that's why I said as soon as this is over, I'm gonna go straight to chat and I'm gonna say, these are the 20 deals that I'm working on. Give me deal structures, hurry, you know. So
Yeah. It's kind of like that thing that we tell not that we specifically tell our clients, but that we know as just people that want to learn all the time and grow our own businesses and help other people's grow their business, is that you don't know what you don't know.
exactly.
And sometimes you don't know the context that you have to add into ChatGPT for it to give you the right answer. So, right now there's services to create prompts for you, I think,
Mhm.
um, somewhere. And if not, then I can be a consultant for that, by the way, hit me up. But um
Always be closing, always be closing. There you go. Yeah.
but yeah, I think that's probably the missing piece in ChatGPT, knowing the prompt and the
Yeah,
nuance behind the prompt. And then, man, when it gets to the point where it has real-time data,
I know.
just
I know.
ridiculous.
All right. So we promised 10, but I'm gonna do a quick little bonus one, a little bonus. You ready for the bonus? All right. I just thought about it because this is the one that I'm working on a client with right now, and it's a European company that is coming to the States for the first time. And um, how do you do business in a different environment? You know, so like if we are a business out of Texas and I want to, and I want to sell and expand over into California, what do I do? Again, not illegal tactic that you guys should lean on heavily, but a good base. And I asked Chat, I'm like, Italian company, it's gonna come set offices, in New York City. What should we be aware of? And how to get it, how to get it going, what are the steps? And it gave me about 10 steps. And I know what the steps are. I just wanted to accelerate
That's
and create a document that is nice and neatly presentable because I'm lazy and I don't want to write all that stuff for my client. Um, and I saw it, and for the most part, it was missing one big important step, but it was almost all there. So again, maybe save me 45 minutes or an hour of writing. Um, and then sometimes when you have one company that's going to do business in another state, sometimes it's as simple as knowing the specifics of your company and knowing the specifics of that other state, the directions are going to change. Some states, if you're an LLC, I can apply for a foreign entity in another state. But sometimes as an LLC, the real estate doesn't recognize you, and I have to have a brand new LLC in that state, or I can reincorporate into like a corporation or something. But again, those are the details why you always want to have an attorney overview, or you yourself or have a team of advisors that can overview whatever comes out from chat before you put it out in the public. But it did, I would say, about good 85% of the work. And it was accurate up until that 85% mark. And then it wasn't that it gave me bad information. It just doesn't know everything, all the nuances, that one hidden document that you have to fill out that then would be found at the state treasury departments of New York City that it just didn't know because it doesn't know what it doesn't know, you know. But for the most part, it did a fantastic job, saved me most of my time, did most of my work for me. Went back, modified a few little things, and again, client super impressed. Patted myself on the back. I'm like, yes, because I'm a genius, so you know, and it's funny because people sometimes pay me. I shouldn't admit this, but people pay me to go to chat and talk to chat. It's kind of what it is. It's coming to. Sometimes people are paying me, and that I think is the biggest piece of advice I can give to businesses is learn, or to entrepreneurs, learn to be self-sufficient. Because a lot of times I'm getting paid to go Google your question, and I get the answer right away. Again, it takes experience and insight to know that this Google result is wrong and this Google result is right. But for the most part, all the answers are out there. We just have to go and find them for anything we do. And now chat is helping us find them that much easier.
Yeah, my one of my job descriptions in LinkedIn is going to be expert Googler,
Yeah.
and the next one's going to be expert ChatGPTer.
I'm trying to add gigolo to my resume. So if anybody out there is interested, so
Yeah. That really shortcuts everything.
yeah, yeah. Because what I should be is a trophy husband. That's what I should be. Yeah.
So I think that's it for right now.
Yeah.
So
I'll make really good pancakes, by the way. So just in case, yeah.
All right, so I think that's it for the 10 prompts plus a bonus one. So I guess stay tuned for the next one. We're going to keep talking about small business tactics, strategies, and things related.
Help you make money, how to make that easier. Everything's out there. We just gotta do it.
Exactly. So that's it.